G'day viewers, we've come to the end of another week.
We have. How you going? G'day.
AIDS is here to talk about what's fucked up this week.
I really am. And you know, surprisingly, it's a narrow thing.
Yeah. We looked all around the world.
We did.
And all around the world, nobody and nothing was more fucked up than our Prime Minister.
It's Friday the 13th. You'd think, right? You'd
We were looking for who's unlucky. No one stood out more than Tony fucking Abbott.
Yes. And not in an unlucky way.
No.
It's a skilled thing.
This is a self-inflicted, actual creating your own reality. Starting on Monday. When the spill motion happened.
Oh, yes.
Which he actually brought forward in a rather obvious mood to go, the longer everyone has to talk about whether or not to fuck me up, the more likely.
They're going to fuck me up. So no, they're not allowed to do that. We're going to do it on Monday, and that'll stop them talking.
So what happened? And apparently Abbott and his supporters were confident the spill motion, like less than 10 people, would vote against him. The actual vote was, which he survived, was actually 61 in support of him and 39 saying, get the fuck out.
Just no more. Fuck off.
To which he is saying, that's a victory. The party whip, Philip Ruddock, announcing the numbers, going, well, that's the end of that then. Unless you're a student of history.
History, that thing. You know where stuff's gone before.
Yeah.
And you can maybe read or even watch videotape.
Yep. And I'm talking about recent history. As recent as 1991, the then Labor government, Bob Hawke Prime Minister, Paul Keating Treasurer. Paul Keating's jack of Bob Hawke at this point, thinks it's time to go. And when he first puts up a spill against Hawke, Hawke survives. The numbers are 66 to 44.
Oh, well, Hawkey.
Yeah,
Mate.
so all of about... you compare that to Abbott's numbers. Abbott's numbers are all of about 3 people better.
Right.
Okay, and what happened after that? 6 months later, Keating comes back, knocks Hawke off.
Big time.
Not sort of, it's over. It's just like, that's it. You're dead man walking.
Splat.
6 months later, gone. And then, when we come to the more recent Gillard v. Rudd debacle...
was pretty messy.
It was awful. Gillard's Prime Minister, she's already knocked off Rudd in a previous little coup. There wasn't even a vote. Rudd was just told, you don't have the numbers, and he went, I don't want the embarrassment of the numbers.
I'm going.
I stepped down.
I'm going. I'm walking away. I'm taking my ball and my apology and I'm fucking off.
Yeah, so when Gillard is Prime Minister, Rudd wants to strike back. The first time he tries, he's defeated 71-31. Gillard comfortably in. And 18 months later, he's back and she's gone. So a much more comfortable margin than Abbott's was just clock ticking, you are fucked. Basically, in all but a very small number of cases, as soon as the spill happens, you're fucking gone.
You're gone. The time bomb's ticking. Now, I believe our famous leader said something about that first Gillard spill.
At the time when he was opposition leader and Gillard survived this spill quite comfortably, he made this big grandiose statement in the Parliament of, how can you say the Australian people support you as Prime Minister when 30% of your own party doesn't support you as Prime Minister? But when he's Prime Minister and 40% of his party doesn't want him in the job, that's fine.
That's okay. It's different. It's different because, well, it's him.
And you want to know how it's actually different? Our boy, Abbott, did not have an opponent. In all these other cases, and historically when there's been spills on both sides of Parliament, I can say there's been an opponent.
Someone gets up and says, look, you fucked it. It's my turn. Piss off. Right? This time, no.
The vote was actually Abbott versus, oh dear God, anyone.
Please go away.
Just please go.
You fucked it. Can you just get a gun and put it in your mouth? No, wrong angle. Wrong angle.
Yeah.
And, just do that. But
it was basically, that vote was a great day for the inanimate carbon rod. It was like literally anyone but you. The idea that he could possibly survive for more than a few months after such a disastrous result is hilarious.
It's laughable.
It's just not real. And in fact, while the backbenchers who pushed it said publicly they've gone, oh, well, we had the vote, went there, so now we've got to give Tony time to turn it around. See, we're behind Tony, he needs the time to turn it around. Privately, they all said, he's got until the next time he fucks up.
And you know, and he did, fair dues, get a bit of a scare. You can see it in his eyes, he's going, oh, not everyone loves me. Maybe I'm not the demigod I think I am.
Apparently it was serious poos and wheeze time.
It was, right? And you can see it. And we know that because on the very next day he said...
Yeah, he said, good government starts today. Which kind of makes us wonder what the last year and a bit was all about.
Where have you been?
That's the other thing. It's like his brain doesn't work. When you say good government starts today, the fuck have you been doing?
Where have we been? What have you been? Have you been on holiday? Have you been like a simulacra of you?
Yeah.
Have you been just phoning it in?
So that's like an indicator of how on point he is, i.e. not at all. But what in the intervening days, what has he done? Well, a Human Rights Commission in Australia has released a study about what's happening to the children that the government policy is keeping in detention. Asylum seeker children.
Asylum seekers, they get on boats because they're getting shot at and shit where they live. And they're going, fuck, what am I going to do? They get on boats and they try to get to Australia because they don't want to get killed and stuff. They get here and the government policy says, we don't like you, you're probably brown, you think different stuff. You've got to be arrested and go to Ireland.
Yeah, they were basically put in a concentration camp on an island away from Australia. And there's, at various times, been hundreds of kiddies. There's still over 100 kiddies in these awful conditions. Many of them, that's all they've ever known. They've been either born there or they were babies when they got there, and they've grown up in this thing that is essentially causing lifelong lasting mental trauma.
No shit. It's really very bad.
So it's affecting the adults bad enough, but the kiddies. And so the human rights analysis is basically, this is all kinds of fucked.
This fucked. This is not okay.
The Abbott's come out and said, oh, that's horrible, partisan, stitch up. You should be thanking Scott Morrison for the awesome job he did of putting kiddies in a concentration camp. And it's just like, just because every analysis done by everyone around the world, including the UN, is this is fucked to the extent you boys might find yourself in The Hague facing crimes against humanity charges.
And those are no shit thing.
They actually have, that has come up multiple times. This is such a contravention of international law. This is such an appalling thing to do to people. You may face charges in an international court.
Right, and that doesn't go away. Even when you get out of being the government, they still look at you for that.
So Abbott said this is bullshit and a stitch up. So in a radio interview, he's asked, but do you feel any remorse for the bad things that happen to kiddies in detention? And his answer is none whatsoever.
Nah.
No equivocation, not even a pause, kind of like a psychopath would say.
Or a sociopath, maybe a high-functioning
A high-functioning sociopath?
But it's just a nut.
No, just, fuck them. They're kids, they're suffering, they're going to be traumatised for life because of what I've done, but I don't fucking care. Now, in his defence, that's what the majority of his party thinks. And in his party's defence, it's the majority of what the gutless wonders in the Labor Party want to push as a policy too, because they're scared of the Bogan vote. So I do want to stress that it's not like the opposition gets to hold their head up on this one.
Interestingly though, in the same round of radio interviews when this was going on, the opposition said, yeah, we did fuck that up, and we really do have to sort this out, because we did.
They actually do express some level of remorse like a human might.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then he's followed that up. There was a brilliant thing that's happened. There's been a plan for quite some years now to build a new fleet of submarines for the Australian Navy.
Very expensive, $30-40 billion.
Yeah. And the only place you do it in Australia, there's shipyards in South Australia, okay? It's worth a lot of money to local economy, jobs, all these good things. In the lead up to the election,
as you do,
the Libs did say, definitely, South Australia. That's where it'll happen.
You're doing it, you got the shipyards, you're the man, we're going to build some boats, you're going to be black, you're going out of water, you're the man.
In government...
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, it's just gone, oh, yeah, no. What? No, I think we might... Oh, Japan. Japan builds submarines.
They're good at it.
They're good at it. I'm not saying they're not good at it. I'm just saying they promised one thing and surprise, deliver another.
And you'll be shitting yourself when you imagine that the South Australians have gone, no, not cool.
And Tones kind of wanted some support votes from South Australian MPs for the spill motion. So
on Monday.
On Monday, and the lead up to that on Monday, he's gone, oh no, for reals, guys, we'll totes do it, South Australia.
South Australia. You're the man. You're the man.
Yeah, no, again.
Big, black, fat boats, underwater, South Australia, you're the man. You're the man. You're the man.
You might be slightly surprised to hear straight after the spill vote, suddenly, it's not as clear. Or maybe we have actually decided it will go overseas. Maybe it won't. Maybe we just fucking lied again.
Perhaps.
Who knows? These things, it's not the fog of war, but it's the fog of thinking of war.
It's the fog of good governance.
It's the fog of good governance that's been happening every day since Monday.
Right, so this is like...
So if you ask him any day, he says, no, today.
Today.
Good government starts today.
Today.
And when he got nailed in question time in Parliament today, he's about, hey, you seem to be talking several different kinds of shit about this.
Have you noticed? I just want to point this out. Have you noticed the shit that you're talking?
And you can tell when the opposition has been given a leak by someone in the public service when they ask a really focused question like,
quite pointed.
Has your department drafted a letter saying it's going to Japan? And they're going, we haven't made a decision. Yeah, but have you drafted a letter? And they refused to answer that. And in fact, that was to the Defence Minister. And Tones jumped in.
Tony Two Tonks Tones.
Which is not really the done thing, but he jumps in and says, you can't criticise us for this screwing around South Australia. Under you, there was a holocaust of jobs. That was the word he used. A holocaust of jobs. 10% of defence jobs lost was a holocaust of jobs. Apparently, the video of question time shows his deputy Bishop, when he says the word holocaust, going,
the fuck have you done?
And the Labour opposition has just gone, what? You said the bad word.
What?
You're not allowed to trivialise the Holocaust.
No one does that. No one does that.
And so he's withdrawn it. And he never withdraws anything. It's like, well, dude, if you know after that blurts out of your head hole that you shouldn't have said it, how the fuck do you not know to not say it in the first place?
There's a thing that between your face and your head, and your neck head, which is your actual head. And if it comes from your neck head and doesn't go through your head before it comes out of your face head, then maybe you shouldn't be fucking Prime Minister.
Oh,
it's a thing.
Yeah, this is good government. And
starting today,
in the gift that keeps giving, and a nice roundup to starting with the spill, the news broke just before we made this video that the government whip...
We're just making our numbers right.
We're not even looking for new
shit. We're not even looking for new shit. Right?
Open up Google News and the top thing is government whip Philip Ruddock has been sacked. Abbott has gone, it was your job to keep those backbenchers in line and not surprise me with those scary numbers, which, to be fair, is the whip's job. It's not a subtle job title. No. You are meant to whip people into line.
You're supposed to kick heads until they bleed and can't piss standing up.
You are party discipline guy.
Right. But there's a point to where, even you, he's a shithead. No, you got to vote. No, he's a dick. No, you got to vote. No, he's a dick. Oh, come on.
So this is, as much as a few of them are trying to pretend it's not, this is obvious punishment for failing Big Tones on the spill vote, which honestly I don't completely hold against him. But going back to Monday, no more captain's calls, no more fuck-ups. When the media started ringing around the coalition MPs, what do you think about Ruddock being sacked? Dominant response?
What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? I haven't. Is this real? Are you shitting me?
These people are going, how the fuck does the media know this before I know this? On the record, they're saying, oh, well, off the record, they're saying, Jesus fucking Christ!
Stop. Oh,
He's done it. They're saying he's done it again. He's done another captain's call. On Monday, they said he's got until he fucks up again. No more captain's calls. No matter how partisan you are, he hasn't stopped fucking up, and he's made another captain's call, which has embarrassed the party.
A week is a long time in politics.
5 days is not even a week.
Not a week. Not a week.
It's just like, and if you think it's just us, a US think tank doing some analysis on how this government, and Tones particularly, has been performing, has said point blank, he is the worst performing leader in any Western industrialised nation.